Hi Taurus, my rainbow lovers and family out there. So these are love messages for the LGBT community, obviously of which I am a part. And the reason I'm bringing these is because usually it's always about the normal, I say normal, not to offend anyone, but usually it's about the mainstream or status quo couples, and very rarely do we have a space that sort of inhabits or specifically speaks to and for us. Being a part of that community, I think it's important to give some representation and also to show up for my community in this way. I'm really sorry, there's not going to be singles readings. You can imagine this is like 24 that I'm having to get done, and on top of that, these, whichever couple you are a part of, I couldn't put every single variation out in the cards because there's just not enough space on the video. All right, so before we start, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise. They help you all on your paths to your highest vibrational good. So you've got the Empress and the High Priestess, you've got the Emperor and the Hierophant. So whichever couple you feel like you are belonging to, I'm hoping that you can find somewhere, at least in the energy, a part of this that resonates or speaks to you. All right, if you're in the community, you're in the community, which is why I don't understand the need for everybody to have special labels. I'm sorry, but I don't. Now, for your first set of cards, your first triplets, I'm just waiting for the amount of comments from that are going to come in. The health of your partnership, you've got the Two of Cups, you've got the Ace of Pentacles, and you've got the Knight of Cups. So we love this, right? Because the health of the relationship is solid, it's stable, and it's also one that looks to be mutually beneficial and mutually supportive. This tells me that you guys are really solid when it comes to your relationship, and you're in that space where you really are each other's person, right? You're really showing up for each other in a way that actually counts, where you both feel sort of really supported. It also tells me that the material goals that you've set yourselves, you are starting to make really good progress or headway on, which is fantastic. The health of the relationship itself is solid. It looks like for a lot of you, this is a relatively new relationship though. So maybe not necessarily one that's really seasoned. If it is, then it looks like this relationship has gone through some kind of big adaptation in the last year. Now, in terms of your blessings, you've got the Judgment card. Okay, very interesting. You've got the Knight of Swords. Okay, interesting. And you've got the Six of Cups. So it's interesting because these two cards, or four of these cards actually came up for the previous, for Taurus, but for hetero couples, basically. So the blessings of the relationship are that you guys have fought for each other time and time again. And I think that's what this mutual sort of connection or relationship energy is actually about in the Taurus collective. I think this is what I'm seeing at the moment. That Judgment card with the Knight of Swords, it's like there's maybe a familial challenge, right? As we know, this happens a lot in our community. One partner might have like a super, supportive family, and the other one might have, a family that's anything but. And it looks like you guys have not only fought for and chosen each other time and time again, but the blessing is you've come a long way on that journey. What I'm seeing here with the Six of Cups, it looks like you guys courted for a long time. Like maybe one of you wasn't sure and you were kind of in, or you were out and you dipped your toes and it got a bit much. And, because Taurus doesn't really like drama. You guys tend to be like a bit like, oh, no, it's a bit too dramatic, too much for me, so I'm stepping out, right? And it looks like you have stuck it out though. And that Six of Cups, even if this is a new relationship, this tells me that you guys have been probably in each other's lives for quite some time, which could be, a really interesting mix, because the relationship itself, if it's not new, it looks like it's gone through a big shift in the last, as I say, in the last year. So the lessons of the relationship, you've got the Six of Wands, you've got the Emperor. Yeah, okay. and you've got the 10 of Pentacles. So a big part of the lesson that's showing up for you guys at the moment, I think, is the living situation. Whether this is that one of you owns the house and the other one is kind of, you know, doesn't feel like they are welcome, or which is, you know, is obviously crazy because the health of the relationship is really good. But the lesson here, I think, is about ownership. That might not necessarily just be about the home or the living situation, though that could be across the board. Another way that this might show up is one of you, it looks like you've just really started your bull run, right? Whereas one of you seems to be very well established and the other one seems to be like, you know, they're just starting to come into their era of success. And, you know, sometimes that's the way of it. Isn't it just great that both of you are succeeding no matter how it's unfolding, right? That's what you should pay attention to more than anything else, I think. What I will also say in terms of a lesson when it comes to the Emperor, there is a little bit of a controlling streak in one of you. And this is something that will need to be adapted, especially if you're trying to achieve something for the long term, right? Which it looks like you are. And being a fixed sign, you guys tend to build for the long haul anyway. And then finally, when it comes to the future of the relationship, you've got the 5 of Cups. So there is a realization that something will need to be let go in order for this relationship to really flourish into what it can be. You've got this with the 9 of Wands, okay? And this with the Wheel of Fortune. So the good news is, the one of you that has PTSD, possibly the one whose family is not as supportive of their, you know, their lives, etc. I don't say lifestyle because nobody chooses this. You know, you're born as you're born, and that's the end of it. And you know, if it was about a choice, why wouldn't people just make choices that were easy? Do you know what I mean? Like it's just such a ridiculous notion. But what I will say is, the one of you who maybe does have some trauma or some PTSD, you're going to have to find a way to work through this now, because this thing that comes up in the relationship, this echo from the family, or even their ability to kind of rock the boat of the relationship, it's coming from within you because you're still seeking their approval. I know this is getting really deep for a short YouTube video, but truth be told, right? Real talk. If you've been with me long enough, you know how Rafi do. And I'm telling you this out of love. It's really important that you find a way to release that need to make them happy, or, you know, to feel a certain way about you, so that you can continue to, you know, to be in a relationship that actually looks like it's very good for you. Okay, but there's some stuff that needs to be healed here. The good news is, with that Wheel of Fortune, it does suggest that you will make it, you will do it, right? So my offer is, many of you will remember, I used to offer a lover's spread for the Valentine's Day period for 1 week only. I am opening up the books for you to get a lover's spread reading. It's a recorded video. I will send it to you. This is, again, it's only for couples, but it's long-term partnered, married, or even for those of you that, like, maybe you're dating and it's starting to get serious and you want some answers. It's a lot more in-depth than this, and it focuses specifically just on you guys as a partnership and a relationship. So your central theme, the Ace of Pentacles, the Knight of Swords, the Emperor, and the 9 of Wands, your central theme here is about really understanding that even in a relationship with somebody that you love, it's important to understand that there are boundaries that maybe shouldn't be crossed. And this isn't about, you know, control or, you know, or any of that stuff. It's about sort of acknowledging that even if we have stuff in our, you know, quote unquote, you know, even if we've got baggage, that's fine, right? At the ages that we are, you know, I'm turned 40 in, from the day that I'm reading this, in like 4 days I turn 40, right? So at this point, and most of my subscribership is like 25 to 55. So at these ages, we've all got some baggage, right? We've all got some stuff. That's okay. What's not okay is that you refuse to put it down and you end up dumping all over your partner because of that. This is kind of a message to say, overcome that and you'll understand the boundaries that both of you need to have in place for the relationship to continue to thrive. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Link in the description box if you want to get your personal lovers reading. Take care, and I'll see you soon.